Welcome, I'm Elena. I'm glad you joined me today. So we'll be combining some gentle movement with a few self-regulation techniques. So to start, just find a comfortable position, seated on the floor on your yoga mat if you have it. You can sit on a cushion just to elevate your hips and have your back straight so you can breathe freely. You can also sit on a chair, although at some point we'll get into some movement, so you might need to have your yoga mat somewhere nearby. Okay, now once you're ready, just take a deeper breath, just to arrive and settle. And let's start with connecting with the space around. So I invite you to move your head, and if you like, you can even move your torso a little bit, just to scan the room you're sitting in. Yeah. It might be a familiar space, but try to be curious about all those different objects, their shape, their texture, the color. The light and shade. So when we do it, we bring ourselves out of our reptilian brain, the worries that we might be having, all the anxieties, into more analytical and thinking brain. So it can feel grounding for some people. See what it is for you. And as you scan the space, find an object that you particularly like looking at. Just spend some time observing it. What do you notice about this object that you like? Is it the way it looks, or is it maybe there's some memory associated with it, a pleasant one? Yeah, take some time looking at it. And notice what happens in your body as you do that. It could be that you notice some softening or relaxation, lightness, whatever it is. And remember, this is something you can do whenever you feel a little activated, that you need some soothing. You can always find a resource. And it could be an object in space, it could be a smell or a sound, it could be a memory of a place or a person. Yeah, so all of these are our resources you can use. So let's continue and let's bring our awareness closer to our body, to our immediate container, the body as a container. So notice where your hands are. So my hands are resting on my knees. You can have them just one hand on top of the other, or you can place them anywhere on your body where it feels good and comforting and soothing. Now you can move your hands from one part of the body to the other. Just noticing the temperature of your hands. It could be a light touch, it could be a little firmer touch. Just take some time to explore. How does your touch feel on your skin? You're welcome to add a bit of squeezing, just getting deeper into our body, exploring the deeper layer of our container, safe container. So this could be a little bit more grounding. As you're doing it, you can actually say in your mind, these are my arms, these are my shoulders, this is my neck. And the different ways you can connect to your physical sensation. You can do it through touch, brush, squeezing, tapping. These are just some of the options I'm offering here. Okay, so allow your hands to rest wherever it feels comfortable. And moving deeper into ourselves, let's pay attention to the breathing. So you can keep your eyes open, you can close your eyes. But if you tend to disconnect, or you feel more disoriented when you close your eyes, you can keep your gaze soft. And just spend some time observing your breath. First, without changing it. Notice how air enters your lungs, the temperature of the air as it enters your nostrils, your throat, filling your lungs and your belly. Notice slight movement of your chest and belly. The rising and falling, the expansion and contraction. Let's make our breath a little bit longer, a little deeper. So the breathing that I'm going to introduce today, the Wu breathing, is one of those breathing with sound. So it has a similar effect as chanting Om as you breathe. Can have, as well as a humming breath, if you're familiar with this. So Wu is a variation of it. It's deep sound like a horn that of a lighthouse. Yeah, so it sends a vibration through the whole body, allowing your vagus nerve to vibrate. But what you can immediately notice is the sensation in the whole body. So let's explore it together. So when you're ready, taking a slightly deeper breath, and when you're ready to exhale, make a sound Wu. So let's do it together once, and then you can do it at your own pace. Inhale. Can be long or short. Just observe the sensation, and a few more times. And one last time. And come back to your natural breathing. And spend some time with your eyes closed, open, or soft gaze, just observing what you notice, what has changed in your sensations. How was it for you? Was it grounding? Was it calming? Or was it slightly more activating? Yeah, it has can have slightly different effect for different people, different nervous systems. So let's get curious and familiar with that. going on in our short sequence, let's start warming our body up. So before we do any movement, just notice how do you feel in your upper body. How's your neck? How are your shoulders? How's your back? If you need to make any adjustments in your posture, you can do that. Changing position of your legs maybe. Okay. So to start off, let's invite some movement into our cervical region, into our neck. And so let's do a couple of shoulder rolls. So as you inhale and when you exhale, just drop your head and start rolling it towards one side, towards one shoulder. And continue the circle as you lift your head up and allow it to gently roll towards the other shoulder. So coordinating with your breath, inhale as your head rolls back and exhale as you roll forward. Going at your own pace. When you're ready, let's shift, let's change direction. Being mindful of how big or how small your movement is and how big or small you want it to be. Neck is a very gentle part of the body, so be careful with this. And when you're ready, come into a neutral and spend some time just observing what has changed. How does your neck feel right now? Do you feel more space, or maybe you feel a little dizzy from the movement? Okay, let's add a couple of shoulder rolls. Just waking up the shoulders. So you can keep your hands resting on your knees, or you can bring your hands onto your shoulders. So that would be a movement. You will be drawing circles with your elbows. And again, be mindful of how big or small you want this movement to be. Right? It will be very different for different bodies. Just be very respectful of how much you want to move, how much your body allows you to move, and let's change direction. Warming up the shoulder joints, warming up the shoulders, especially if you're holding a lot of tension there. You might want even to lift your shoulders up. A few more times. Coordinating movement with your breath, and when you're ready, just let go. Let your hands rest on your knees, on your thighs. Notice what you notice, what has changed. And if nothing has changed, that's also fine. How's your breathing? Okay. Now let's mobilize the spine a little bit. So whenever you're ready, with an inhale, lift your arm up, whichever arm you choose. So notice an opening in your ribs as you continue this movement, folding forward as you draw a circle with your arms and switching side to the other side, opening the ribs on the other side and lower the arm. So we're going to repeat it one more time. So with an inhale, lift your arm up, open your ribs. Continue the movement, folding forward, shifting sides. Inhale and exhale as you lower the arm. Let's do it on the other side. So inhale, lift the other arm up. Open the side of the body, open your ribs. Continue the movement, opening your back, Switching side. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Up. Nice and juicy. Stretch. No rush. Exhale. Nice. Let's take some time to observe the whole upper body. Alright, so we are working quite a lot with noticing the sensations. So this is part of the process called developing interoception, the internal awareness, the subtle cues your body is giving you. So this helps you to determine how do you feel at a given moment. Are you comfortable? Do you feel tension? Do you need more stretch? Do you need to adjust? So all of this is very important information, right? Okay. So now let's get a little bit more familiar with our nervous system, the sympathetic and parasympathetic. And we can do it in a very subtle way by, again, engaging the body. So I'm going to show it from the side. So first, I invite you, if it feels comfortable, to lean back onto your hands. So this is a very slight opening in the chest, a very slight back bend. You may want to explore it here. If you wish, you can drop your head back if your neck is not complaining, if it feels okay for you. Or if you want to come a little further, explore a little bit more, you can even lift your hips up, coming onto your knees. Yeah, so this is a even deeper back bend. Right? So choose a variation where you would like to stay. Take some moment to notice. So back bends are generally engage the sympathetic nervous system. And sympathetic nervous system, it's not always about fight or flight. It's also about feeling a bit more energized, more alert, more focused. It's also about excitement. However, when we open our chest, so if you're doing it with your hips up, you can lower your hips, right? When we open the chest, it also can feel a little bit more vulnerable. Yeah. So see what it is for you. Just observe. Take some moment to be curious. And we're not going to stay here forever. How does this opening feel? Okay. Let's come out of it. Now let's explore the opposite. So you can keep your legs crossed, or you can also bring them into a butterfly position, letting your feet touch. If you feel any tension in your hips, you can also support your knees. Yes, you can use some blocks or cushions, so that will reduce tension in your hips. And as we're going to focus on the forward fold, so forward folds are generally considered more calming, more soothing as we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest. So that might not be the case with someone with sciatica, right? So, however, try to explore how would it feel when you lean forward a little bit more and a little bit more. And so you may notice also opening your back, decompression of the lumbar region. But don't go too far. So you just want to be curious how it feels to feel more contained, a little closer to your lower body. So you can even drop your head or keep yourself propped on your arms, keeping your arms straight. And rounding your back here. Staying here for a few moments. And if you like this position, you can actually stay here for several minutes. Being respectful of your body's boundaries. How do we know when we're going past our limit? We start feeling muscular tension, the breath becomes shallow, so we don't want that. Yeah? So if you're experiencing anything like that, you feel free to back off a little. And let's just come out of this shape. Yeah? So that was a short exploration. In a yin class, a yin yoga class, we tend to stay in these poses much longer. Okay, so let's continue. Now we're going to engage our muscles a little bit. So I invite you to come onto all four, so onto your hands and knees. And take some time just to explore the surface you're standing on. The surface under your knees and hands. So now I'm doing it on my yoga mat, which is a little soft. So take some time to just walk your hands, feeling the surface that you're practicing on, a carpet, a floor, a yoga mat. Shifting your weight a little forward and back, side to side. So the next exercise would be engaging the core muscles, engaging our hands and feet. So why don't you tuck your toes under? We're not going to do it for too long. Let's just explore how does it feel to engage the core. So on the next inhale, lift your knees up just a few inches off the mat. Push the floor away and come back. Right, so you might feel a slight wave of heat through your body as we're engaging our body, also turning on our sympathetic nervous system slightly. So that can feel a little energizing or grounding. See what it is for you. So let's do it one more time. Inhale and lift your knees up. A few seconds. Pushing the floor away. And exhale down. Now these exercises can be also useful when you have a lot of energy running through your body. And if you're feeling anger or frustration, that could be a nice exercise just to push everything away, pushing the floor away, engaging the core, using this energy, right? So let's do it one more time. So we're going to stay for a few breaths. Yeah, not too long. So inhale, lift your knees up. And breathe. Push the floor away. Whatever frustration you might be feeling. Yeah, so press it down through your hands, through your toes. And exhale, come back. If you like, you can come into a child's pose if it's a comfortable position for you. You can also lie down and rest on your back if that feels better. Just take some time to rest. Noticing your breath. Noticing any new sensations you might be feeling in your arms, in your hands, in the rest of the body, shoulders, belly, your back. And when you're ready, let's come up. So you can stay on your hands and knees, especially if you're feeling dizzy or you don't have, you feel a bit low energy. So, and here I invite you to explore movements of the joints. So you can bend and stretch your arms and legs in any possible way. Move your back. If you like, you can also come into downward facing dog and do exactly the same thing. Walking your hands and feet, bending and straightening your arms and legs, moving your back, your spine like a snake. Again, pressing and exploring. How does it feel to push and press again? Might be a bit more energizing. And when you're ready, you have an option. Either walk your feet towards your hands or walk your hands towards your feet, as we're going to come into a standing forward fold. So pick the one which you like better. Stay here for a few moments. Again, exploring where your weight is. You can let go of any tension in your neck. You can also, if it feels too intense, keeping your legs straight, you can micro bend your knees. That will also release tension from your lower back. And when you're ready, with the next inhalation, press your feet into the mat as you start rolling up, one vertebra at a time, really slowly, feeling the back rolling up, head coming last. Take your time. Notice, how does it feel standing? So as we came out of this forward fold, you might feel that the blood is rushing to your head. Pressing your feet into the floor once again. You're welcome to shift your weight forward and back, just to explore where your weight is. How does it feel to keep your back upright, your body upright? Check in with yourself. How do your arms feel? What do you notice in your legs, in your pelvis, in your neck? How's your breath now? Okay, let's do a bit more orienting in this space once again, as we're about to finish our short movement exploration. Thank you very much for this practice. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And I hope you have a wonderful day.